Hello, everyone. I'm James.
And I'm Chris.
And thank you for tuning in to the very first podcast of Uniquely Average. A couple of guys just talking about anything and everything.
All right, quick introductions here. I'm Chris, work in food service, big baseball fan, love the Cardinals, big into TV shows, Office is the best.
And I'm James, also work in food service, big LeBron fan, greatest ever. I love sports, movies, TV shows, pretty much love it all. And that's basically it about me.
So between us, there's over 20 years experience in the food service industry. And, over the years, there's just a couple things that kind of grind our gears as workers there. And we just kind of want to share the ideas out with you guys, the customers, about what really irks us as workers. So James, what's like a big thing that bothers you?
Well, one thing that really bothers me is these people that come up to the drive-thru window and just have no idea what they want.
Yeah, man. You don't need, on like a Friday night, when you're super busy, the line's already backed up, and you got Toby Flenderson coming up to the window, taking 20 minutes to order. Come inside if you've never been to the restaurant before. If you don't know what's on the menu, you need to walk inside, look at it there. You're not holding anybody up. In a drive-thru line, people are getting backed up.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I mean, honestly, it's one of the most annoying things for sure is when these people just come to the window, have no idea what they want, spend 20 minutes, back your line up even more, and then your service times just go to absolute garbage. But what can you expect? It's food service, and I mean, it's one of those things you have to deal with.
No, I mean, I totally agree that it's definitely part of the job that you deal with it, but I just feel like everybody behind that person is getting pissed off. And then if there's two of those people in line, then it's just everybody's getting extremely disoriented by the time they get up there. And then the one person asking if you got something that your restaurant doesn't have that somebody else does. And you can't be extremely rude to the person and tell them you're at the wrong place.
Right. And I mean, let's get to when they get to the window then. I mean, half the time we get these people that come through and they finally get to the window and after they've decided what they want, and it's like once they hand you that credit card or that cash, they finally say, "Oh, can I get some sauce with that?" Expecting to get it for free.
Yeah, man. I laughed a little there because I've definitely had that experience before. Come up there, order, they paid, like you said, and then, oh, and by the way, and then when you do charge them, they want to put up a fight about it. Like they've never been charged for sauces before in their life.
Exactly. Sauce isn't free. Food isn't free. What do they expect?
No, man, I totally agree. And then because it's not always me on the drive-thru, and then after the drive-thru person tries to tell them how it's going to cost 30 cents. I mean, I don't know why you're eating out in the first place if 30 cents is a big deal. And then they pull the whole, "I want to talk to your manager" card.
Yeah, dude. Having to speak to a manager over a sauce is a little waste of the manager's time. Like, they're trying to run the restaurant, so I mean, you inconveniencing them for 30 seconds to talk about a 30-cent sauce is a little bit ridiculous. But again, what do you expect?
No, man, like I said, I agree. But another thing that kind of, in the whole drive-thru aspect, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you ever have somebody come through the drive-thru, let's just say they get a meal, side, sandwich, whatever, drink. Maybe they don't get their drink at the window and they pull ahead and wait for their food if they're told to pull ahead, or they just get handed the bag at the window and they drive off and then they call back with the drink wasn't in the bag scenario.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. I think we've all had that experience working in fast food, especially, or even just food service as a whole. But those people really grind my gears when you think about it. It's like you really expected an item that could spill, ruin the integrity of the entire bag to be in the bag? Come on now. What food restaurant have you ever gone to that hands out the drink in the bag?
Yeah, and I'm not talking about like a shake or, I don't know, a malt, if you will, or a Blizzard or whatever. I'm talking about a soda. Have you ever gotten a soda in a paper bag before?
Yeah, I don't think so, dude. I mean, and that piggybacks onto another thing. Let's talk about when they leave the restaurant, whether it be at the window after they got their food or however the case is, without their dessert. Like, you didn't think to check the bag? You didn't think, well, they didn't hand that to me, maybe I should ask about it? Or you expected it to be in the bag? I mean, let's be honest.
Well, that's true too. Like, a dessert normally wouldn't be in a bag with, I don't know, a hot food item. But at the same point as what you said earlier is to check the bag. Like, yes, 90%, 99%, if you will, is on us to put everything that you order. You pay the money, you get it, you work hard for it, you should get what you pay for. I agree. But especially when you order, like, I don't know, a lot of food, don't you think maybe I should look in the bag?
Right. I mean, and that's the problem when it is most of the time. It's not like we're forgetting items with 3 orders, like you have a small amount of food. Most of the time we're not going to forget something. Maybe we'll forget a sauce, whatever the case is. But it's those $40 orders or those $50 orders that have a bunch of various items. They got, whether it's fries, onion rings, cheese curds, soup, whatever it may be. We forget one of those small items, and it's like, you didn't think to check the bag. Like, yeah, we have trained people on those positions, but we also work in an industry where we have 14, 15, 16-year-old kids who are sometimes put in those responsibilities. And unfortunately, we forget things. I mean, everyone does. But at the same time, you'd think when you order $50 worth of food, you would take some of that responsibility onto yourself and check the bag.
Yeah, especially sometimes they'll be like, I'm so far away, or I had to travel so far to get to my destination to figure out what was in the bag. And if you're going that far away, look in the bag at first. I mean, it's not offending anybody. And if there's a mistake, it gets corrected instantly. And if there's not a mistake, well then, hey, head on with your day.
Right. And most of the time, if we do mess up, right, and you're there and you're in the restaurant and you remind us that we forgot something, we're more than often going to offer you something for noticing that mistake. Hey, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and pick a pint out of the pint freezer? Or why don't you, go ahead and get a free 1-scoop dish, or whatever the case might be. Some small commodity item that isn't going to break the bank for the restaurant, but it's also going to make you, have a good experience. You notice something that we didn't notice. We appreciate the help. Not always are we looking to, forget things, obviously, but accidents happen, especially like I said, with the people that we work with.
Well, it's just
guarantee
it's
those
just
things.
human nature. I mean, mistakes are going to occur, and as you said, if you notice it, you bring it to our attention. Yeah, here's a little coupon for next time. Here's a little dessert item for you. Here's something, just to make you leaving feel better about the situation. We don't want there to be a mistake. We know what's going to happen. You're going to call. You're going to email. It's just going to be a whole issue, and it could all be avoided. Yes, if we do a better job on our end, but also if just a little bit of the responsibility falls onto you, and you can check the bag.
Right. And I think with the whole checking the bag thing, I mean, more often than not, even if they do have something missing, sometimes they don't even feel inclined to calling. And if you don't call, how are we supposed to improve from that issue? And then to piggyback off of that idea, I mean, how often have you had the experience where somebody will come in on their next experience, right? They come in, order their food. Well, on the last time I came in, you guys forgot this or you forgot that. How annoying is that?
Yeah, I mean, okay, did you call? No, I didn't call. Did you email us? No, I didn't email you. Did you do anything about the situation? No. So you decided to just come back weeks, months, I don't know, later, come through the drive-thru, not sure what you're ordering it, and then at the end say, oh, last time I didn't get a fry, so I don't want to pay for the fry this time. Okay.
That's and that's just it. That's great and that's fine. And you don't want to pay for the fry. But what inclination do we have to believe you that you're not just saying that you didn't forget a fry, or that we didn't forget the fry, I should say? What makes us know that? Most companies' policy is, you need a receipt or you need some form of validation. Like I said, calling in, even if it's not like you're not looking for something, but to let us know. Majority of the time with you calling, letting us know there was an issue, we're going to try and get you something in the mail, or, we're going to try and do it. Some stores do an in-store credit, we're going to try and make it better for you. So you not calling and doing nothing for the situation and hoping that when you come in the next time with no receipt is going to get something accomplished for you. Just majority of the time, it's not going to. Like I said, you need a receipt. Otherwise, we're just handing out free food. And what restaurant or what business is inclined to just give things away for free? That's not a good business model.
Well, I mean, giving anything away for free isn't a good business model. I mean, you can't just come in and say, last time this happened, make it right. If you called, we'd be more than happy to, but you can't call somebody a liar. You don't want to call somebody a liar, but there are people who try to scam restaurants for food. That's just a thing. It's known. It happens. It is what it is. But if we let everybody come through and do that, there'd be no business. There'd be no workers because you'd be out of business. Everybody would be out of jobs. And again, you can't call the person a liar to their face, but
More
in the
often
back
than
of the
not.
mind, you're
Right.
thinking.
More often than not, they're probably lying. And I mean, with that being said, let's talk about coupons.
No.
A coupon is used for the item it's used for. If it says buy one, get one free of a specific item, say a double cheeseburger, you get the double cheeseburger. It's not buy one, get one chicken sandwich. Or
So if I get a Big Mac coupon, I can't use it on something else?
like a fish sandwich? No, that's not how it works, you know? And I wish people would kind of understand that. You know, we're doing the coupons to help you, to give you a cheap item or an item that you can get for free, or whether it's $1 off or, you know, a free item. You know, we're doing that to, one, bring you into the restaurant, but two, it's usually an item that doesn't cost much, has good food cost, and we're trying to, you know, have it be a mutual beneficial
Increase
thing.
sales
Right.
while you're getting a discount at the same time.
Right.
It doesn't mean bring it in and argue with me about this, that, and everything under the sun about how you should be able to turn it into
Well,
something.
right, and I don't want to hear. I hate hearing when people come in and they have a coupon for our restaurant, and they're like, "Well, you know, at this restaurant they let me do this." You know, and that's fine and dandy.
Why aren't you at that
right,
restaurant?
then go to that restaurant. Exactly. It's just one of those things where you come into our restaurant to use a coupon, use it for what the face value is. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a coupon, and you know. So to be honest with you, the people that come in and are super nice about the coupon, and they know exactly what they want, and they know what they're getting. You know, more often than not, I'm inclined to just let them keep the coupon. Let them come back in. But when you're going to come in and you're going to ask to do something that's not what the coupon states, or you know how it's supposed to be used, yeah, I'm taking the coupon from you. That's just how it works. What can I say?
Yeah, I agree, man. Those coupons, I get the purpose of them, but then it just causes hassles in the long run, both ends, and I could say I could do without. And on that note, when you bring in a coupon, don't come in complaining about the prices. You're already getting a discount. And also, I don't know about you, James, but I don't make the prices at my store. Do you?
Nah, definitely don't make the prices. Majority of restaurants, let's be honest, that's an owner decision, maybe a general manager decision, and even at that note, majority of the time the general manager doesn't have much say. The owners, more often than not, are definitely the ones that decide the pricing scheme or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, you yelling at us about the price or complaining about the price after you're already getting a discounted amount is just absurd. I mean,
but this other place 100 miles from here charges 10 cents less for this cup of coffee. Okay. I mean, prices are what they are.
right. And another thing with that is, I mean, majority of most people probably don't realize, but majority of, you know, restaurants in the fast food industry are franchises. All franchises are going to run their pricing different than the next one, I should say. You know, not every two franchises are going to run the same pricing scheme. It's just not practical. You know, there's different taxes in different states, and there's different pricing for different food items, you know. And I'm not talking about what we make you, but the food that we get in, you know, our inventory. You know, inventory costs have different things, and people seem to not realize that. But definitely annoying when people complain about the pricing with coupons, especially. Like you said, you're already getting a discounted item at a discounted price, and then you're complaining about the pricing.
Oh, yeah.
We get it. It's expensive. It's fast food. It's not what it used to be anymore. Prices are increasing. We get it. But another thing that bothers me, and I'm sure you've had to deal with this, we sell a fish sandwich at the restaurant that I work at, right? It's almost $6 for the sandwich. I get it. It's expensive. People complain about it all the time. Fish is expensive, though. It's like they don't seem to realize that. You know what I mean?
Oh, man, I totally get it. It's... If you go to a nicer restaurant that has steaks, the Dallas steak costs more than the house sirloin or whatever. I don't know. It's a premium item. My apologies. And when you get a better item like that, you're going to pay more, just as the restaurant itself paid more. The dollar menu at some of these places, it's a dollar menu because they're not paying that much for it in the first place.
Right. And I mean, let's be honest. Not every place is going to have a dollar menu. And yeah, that sucks. But, most places are trying to offer cheaper options. And for you to expect the fish to be a cheaper option, it's not going to be that case. Or, these bigger meal items, you expect a dinner to be, cheaper. Well, yeah, it probably should be cheaper. But at the same time, how much does that restaurant have to pay for that food to actually still make a profit with what they're charging you?
Pay for the food, pay for the people, pay for the lights, pay for the gas.
There's a lot of cost that goes into it. A lot of costs
that go on top of it. What is it? You make like 10 cents on the dollar or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, you're not making much. People in the fast food industry, yeah, I mean, some industries you're going to make more, or some fast food places you'll make more than other places. McDonald's, yeah, they probably do have insanely good food costs when they're selling everything for $1. But there's other restaurants out there that, have higher quality food, aren't going to be making nearly as much of a profit on it based off the fact that their food costs more. That's just how it is. And let's talk about the fact of when people order a meal, it's wrong, decide to eat half, 3/4 of it, and then come up and complain, saying that it was made wrong, it didn't taste good, whatever the case is.
There's this little part right here that totally ruined the entire meal for me. Yeah, it's the last bite, but it ruined the entire meal for me. I want my money back. Or remake the whole thing.
Yeah, man, it's beyond annoying. They assume that you just get everything for free, or
it leads back to the trying to get free food issue. It's like we're all willing to help you. You take a bite, you take a couple bites, maybe even halfway-ish. If there's an issue, bring it up. We'll take care of it. You leave us little crumbs to dissect and try to figure out what the issue was. You ate the whole thing.
Right.
What was the issue?
Right, exactly. I agree 100% there. And I think it's starting to happen more and more often nowadays. And it's definitely one of those things that being in the food service industry is a little unfortunate of. I mean, not trying to say that every person in the world here is trying to scam you, but it's becoming a more and more relevant thing with, the price of food and, things like that. But it's obnoxious. It really is what it is. That happens more often than not, that somebody will eat 3/4 of the meal, bring it up, and then complain about it. Or, something that I've seen, recently in my restaurant is, they've complained because they don't even eat the meal, right? They bring the food up and they say, oh, this isn't done enough, or this is too dark, or these fries aren't hot enough. At the restaurant I work at, everything's made fresh for you. I don't know about the restaurant that you work at, but more often than not, we're not serving you food that's been made, has been sitting under a heating lamp, and then sending it back out to you. It's fresh. So for it to be cold is a little unlikely. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I hear you, man. They come up sometimes. It's like these fries, they've been sitting under a heat lamp for 15 minutes. No, they haven't. Your perception of time is terrible.
Oh, man.
Going along with
perception of time.
Your perception of time of how long it takes you to get your food. You tell me it takes 15 minutes, we're probably around the 5-minute mark. You got to get a little bit more knowledgeable on the time. Yeah, there's times orders go out slower than normal, slower than I'd like. Peak busy times. But the other day I had a lady come up to me and tell me she's been waiting 35 minutes for her food. You check the ticket, we're not even close to 10 minutes. We're around the 8-minute mark. It's like you're sitting here screaming at me in front of people, and you're just so sure on the time frame here, and you couldn't be further from the truth.
Right. And I mean, I think that sort of goes back to drive-through. I mean, you get mad at us and say you've been here for 35 minutes, but you starting out in the drive line to the point of where you order your food and then the time you get your food is a completely different time. I mean, yeah, you might enter our drive-through line with 15 cars. I mean, the drive-through I work at, or the restaurant I work at, has a drive-through, and the line gets backed up to the road sometimes. The entire drive-through line is full, right? Yeah. From the time that you pull into that drive line to the time that you get your food, yeah, it might be 20 minutes. And you know what? That's not an ideal situation. I want the food to come out faster for you. But on peak busy times, it's going to happen. But don't count that as part of your time. It's not my fault. I shouldn't say it's not my fault, but it doesn't count when you're in the line. If it's been 5 minutes since you ordered your food to the time you got your food, that's a lot different than 15 minutes.
You just said your restaurant cooks everything fresh when it's ordered. Well, you're not going to start making Toby's food until he orders. And if he's at the window taking 20 minutes to order, he's already thinking that this is part of his internal clock of getting the food. But no, you need to order the food so then we can put it through, have the kitchen make it, bag it, and get it out to you. It's a whole process where you got to come, especially through the drive-through. You got to know what you want. You got to order. It's got to be fast. And a lot of the fast part comes on you pulling up to the window and ordering, not pulling up and saying, yeah, can I have a minute? You had a minute when you were waiting for the car in front of you to move forward.
Right. And I mean, a lot of it, like you said, boils down to the guest. I mean, them taking a long time to order their food and asking all these unneeded questions because they don't, know the menu or they don't know the certain things. And I'm not saying that every person that comes through should know the menu. We love new guests and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you're asking what comes on every single item that you're ordering, it's going to take more time. And for you to not realize that and not put that into your internal clock and then get mad when 5-6 minutes later your food isn't ready yet, but you ordered $40 worth of food and you asked 100 questions, I mean, everything takes time and people don't seem to realize that.
Yeah, man. And then they storm in either from the dining room or through the drive-thru, and then they start telling me how to do my job.
Yeah, and let's not forget, between the two of us, we have over 20 years of experience in this. And I'm not saying that means we know everything, but more often than not, we know a lot more than the guest.
I know a hell of a lot more than the person coming in screaming at me, thinking I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. And I mean, honestly, I get it. You're upset and you're angry, and that's, you're right, especially if we mess something up. But for you to come in and basically demean us for no reason or a lack of a reason because of the fact that your food was wrong, I mean, I understand it. It's frustrating. It's upsetting. But what is that going to accomplish with you? You're trying to talk to us to get your problem fixed, but you're going to demean us and down us and expect that to get something accomplished for you?
You come in huffing and puffing, getting all in my face, saying this, saying that with your attitude. That's not going to incline me to want to help you anymore. The person that comes up and is respectful, nice about the situation, yeah, you can tell they're extremely upset, but they're not sitting there telling you how terrible you are at your job, how food service is you're idiots for working here, this and that. I don't want to help that person. You're coming to me looking for me to resolve the situation while demeaning me. I'm not inclined to help you then.
I mean, I agree 100%, dude. And it's most of these people, they have their own day jobs, whatever. They might not work in food service, but I don't go into their job, tell them how to do their job, whether it be a car salesman. I don't go into a car salesman job telling him, well, you're selling that car wrong. If you would have said this or that, you're going to get that done. That's not how it works.
And you got the times when they come in huffing and puffing, they're yelling at you, telling you what you're doing wrong, this and that. And then you kind of dive into the situation a little bit, and you find out we were right. They didn't order the correct thing, or they didn't order it the correct way. But, the guest is always right.
Yeah, man. And I mean, let's be honest. The guest is not always right. And I think that might be the biggest topic on food service as a whole, is how the guest always has the inclination that they're right. And let's be honest, that's so far from the truth. I mean, it couldn't be more wrong.
More wrong. There's times they order stuff incorrectly. They say stuff that just doesn't make sense, not implying to this location that they're at. And then you try telling them that, no, last time we were here, we got this. No, you didn't, okay? You're not always correct.
Right. And I mean, let's be honest. Majority of the time they're ordering something, they think they know what they're ordering and they think they know how to order it, and they end up ordering it wrong. Certain places, my restaurant has, a works and, deluxe toppings. Majority of people don't seem to know the difference between the two of them. The works and deluxe are two completely different items. One, you get ketchup mustard. The other one, you get mayo. Some people don't like mayo, don't like mustard, don't like ketchup, whatever the case is. But
do you ever have somebody order with wanting the works but getting the deluxe thing?
Oh man, all the time, dude. That's more often than not, that's what happens. And they come in, they're upset, they're angry, complaining. Oh, it's your fault. Why don't you guys know what you're doing? I asked for this, I asked for that, but I got this. Well, that's because you ordered it wrong. And I don't like pointing out that they're wrong, but you're not always right.
Correct me here, too, if I'm right or wrong here, but I believe at your establishment, the toppings actually go on a burger underneath the patty. Is that right?
No, that is right. That is very right.
And I know at other places it's on top. You ever have somebody not think they got the toppings?
Oh man, more often than you could imagine, to be honest with you. Even people that are in the dining room, they get their food and they lift the top bun off. Where's all my condiments? And I get it. It's confusing. Some places do it differently. Some put them all on the top. We put it underneath. Lets the meat patty, in a sense, hold it together. But yeah, they bring it up to the counter. I didn't get anything on this. Did you look underneath? Did you check? No, why would I check?
Yeah, that's got to be an awkward situation to maneuver through.
Yeah, it definitely is, because I don't want to
Call them idiots.
Well, call them idiots and then grab their food and prove it to them. And then majority of the time you prove it to them and they're like, well, you just put your hands in my food. I'm not trying to remake your food when it's right the first time. It's not.
You ever just tell someone, did you check under the bun, and they do it and it was the stuff was there?
Yeah, man.
Then they just walk away. Don't even say sorry,
I was just
right?
going to say they just walk away and pretend it didn't even happen.
Just forget the last 30 seconds of you yelling at me here, guy.
Right.
We'll just, never mind. Move on.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous, man. The things you have to deal with in food service, especially with people assuming that they know more than you. It's crazy, dude. It really is.
Yes, you're right. You eat here once a week, once every 2 weeks, but you coming in, you know a hell of a lot more than I do, guy.
Right. I mean, I work 40, 50 hours a week, you're here once a month, once a week, whatever the case is. In your amount of time, you're going to know more than I'm going to know. It makes no sense.
You ever get any of those guys, like, you walk in the door, they're regulars, and you see that face, guy or girl, I don't know, and you just know that person is going to complain when their food goes out.
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, I'm sure it's the same at your establishment, too, but we all know those regulars that are coming in, going to order the same thing they always order, and it's never going to be right.
Yeah, man, there's a guy that came into a place I was at a while back, and always wrong. Always wrong. Keeps coming back. Always wrong. And like he'll complain about it while he's there and tell us how terrible we are. If that's the case,
why are you coming back?
What are you doing here?
There's
hundreds of restaurants around.
Right. And especially, I know the area that you work, there's restaurants all down that road. That's just it, I mean, we like to think we have a quality brand and a quality, food item that we're going to sell, and we expect it to be high quality. But if you're having the same issue over and over again, and you're constantly having that issue, and it's really an issue that's not an issue, maybe you're just the problem.
Exactly. But you can't say that. It's never like that. We're the problem. They know what they're doing. If I go somewhere and they mess up, you know what? Like I said, I'm in the industry. I get it. It is what it is. I don't complain. I'll go back. If they mess up again, I'm a little irked. If I go back a third time and they mess it up, I'm still not calling, because that's just not me being in the industry and just me personally. But
I'm probably
me
not
saying,
going back.
yeah, the F you that I'm going to do, me saying F you is, I'm never going to give you another cent of my money.
Exactly, man. And I'm the same way. I mean, I definitely go places expecting the same kind of quality that I'm going to get at my own restaurant. And, that doesn't always happen. Like I said, people forget things. People mess up things. Not everyone's perfect. The food industry isn't a perfect science. And I think that's something that people just fail to realize. But it's like you said, I'll give you a shot. You mess up once, all right, it happens. I'll give you another shot. You mess up again, it's pretty annoying. I'm probably annoyed about it. But, I might not call. I might not complain. Maybe I'll call and I'll let you know, hey, you forgot this, or whatever the case is. But I'm not going to sit here and ask for anything, and I'm not going to demand anything. I'll give you one more shot, and third time's a charm. If you mess up the third time, like you said, you're not going to get any more of my money. I'm not going to go back. And if I do go back to, say, that restaurant, I'm not going to this location. I'm going to try a different location.
Exactly. Because whichever restaurant it is we're talking about, there's more of them around, all right? There's a couple of things that bother us. I'm not saying all the blame's on the customers. Hell, I'm not even saying half the blames. I'm saying like 5% is on the blame on the customers, and they just need to own up to that at times.
Yeah, man, I think you're right there. I definitely would have to agree with you on that. And like you said, I think that is definitely something that, we hold some responsibility for, but I also think, like you said, they have to claim some responsibility.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, I think that's a kind of a good spot to end our first ever podcast of Uniquely Average.
Yeah, man. I think that's a great idea. Thank you guys for checking out Uniquely Average, podcast about anything and everything. Have a great night.
Have a good one, guys.